and welcome to our next creativity prompt. For this one, we are going to be creating a fairy. Now, as you can see, I have already painted in the background. I've painted it a nice green, kind of to be like a forest or some kind of grass. And then I have this really pretty decorative paper that I decoupaged on this side. So I went ahead and just did that to save time. And I also went ahead and cut out what I'm going to be using today. So instead of painting, we are going to be creating a decoupage fairy. And so what you're going to want to do is start out with a little person, a little figure that you can cut out. You can cut out a picture of yourself or a figure from a magazine. This was actually an accidental photo that got taken of me with my arms partially raised up, but it ended up looking really cute and I just decided that I was going to use it. So I'm going to be putting my little fairy over here. And so, like I said, you can use any kind of person. If you want to use a cutout picture of yourself, you can, or you can cut out anything from a magazine. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking different paper. So I have some book pages here, and I have some large pieces of paper here. And I am actually just going to rip it all the way down there. And I'm going to do the same with this one because I wanted to use some of the flowers down here. And so basically what we are going to be doing is layering different papers for our wings. So to get started, I have this book page here that I tore out of my art journal. And I'm just going to, let's place her right about here. And so I'm going to be taking a pencil and kind of just tracing out where I want the wings to go. So let's see, the wings are kind of going to come out this way and then this way as well. All right, cool. And they are still pretty big, so I'm just going to cut them down a little bit. And that's why I cut them large in the first place. If I ended up wanting to reshape them or change the design a little bit, then I can do that. All right, so that looks like a pretty good composition to me. So it's a little bit wonky, but that's all right. So now that I have that designed, I'm going to set myself off to the side, just right about there. And I'm going to take my other paper and let's see. Let's go ahead and trace that out there. Okay, so now, as you can see, it's a little bit wonky, so you can see some of the book pages underneath. But it's not wonky enough in my opinion. I think that there should be more book showing underneath. So I am going to cut away even more. And I'm not worrying about the shape at all because it's going to look pretty wonky. And again, that's what I want it to look like. So I'm just gonna round this part out a little bit. All right, see, now I like that because it just looks very messy and wonky. So that there, and then again, I'm just gonna put me over the top just to see how that's coming along. And that looks awesome. All right. And so thirdly, I'm going to be taking this here, and I really just wanted some of these flowers here in the back. So I might put it on one wing, but not the other, and we'll just see how that looks. Now this is pretty much me just layering my different papers until I find a composition that I like. You're just trying different things out, different colors, different shapes. So if you have some really fun paper on hand, you can use that. You could make your own paper by decorating it with watercolors. It's always an idea. And see, now it's still a little bit too big. So I'm just going to cut off this corner right here. Okay, yes, that is looking definitely super fun. And I might actually look at this paper that I have here. And I have some right here. So I might use a little bit of that to tie it in with this over here. So I am actually not even going to measure this time. I'm just going to cut out a shape and hope for the best. But that's the whole point with this one, is that you just want to look at your shapes and come up with a composition that looks good to you. You don't need to think about it too hard. Just use different papers, different colors, come up with something that feels fun specifically to you. There is no right or wrong way to do this. So what I'm going to do now is start gluing everything down. It's right here. Then just place that right over the top, kind of to the side a little bit. And then I'm going to kind of check that again, make sure that that's what I'm wanting. And put a little bit more over here. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the back of this one just to make sure that it stays down. All right, and so there is the makings of my little fairy. And now I'm going to get it centered on this page here. And it kind of overlaps, so some of this paper is over on this page. That's all right. All right, and for our last step, I have my paint pen here. You can use a black marker or a Sharpie. And I'm just going to outline the wings. And I'm not worrying too much about trying to get it to look perfect. All I want is the black to outline it to show, give it a little bit more definition. All right, and of course you don't have to stop there. You can continue outlining. You could outline different parts of the wings themselves, and I think I'm actually going to do that. And you can just keep on adding more details, adding more outlines. You could draw some squiggles and swirls all the way around. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, I kind of want to outline myself as well. So I'm just gonna draw some lines here. And you don't have to do this. This is just an extra step to help it pop a little bit more. All right, and so there is our fairy. And we can't wait to see yours. All right, and so there is a decoupaged fairy. All right, and so there is a decoupaged fairy. Wow. Okay, and so there is your very own decoupaged fairy.